How you doing?
John. Hi, Dave.
Hey, David, Kelly,
Hi, everyone.
and Lisa, wherever you
Hello.
are. So I guess it's not, no, it's 5:30. We have a quorum. So
I'm in the process of turning on the live streaming.
we-
Are we good?
Okay, we're good.
All right. I think John might be
Small and
frozen.
myself, that gives us a quorum. And next item is public participation. Do we have anyone out there? No? Whoever's recording? No public participation. Then I'll go to number 1, administration. Approval of the minutes. I'll make the motion to approve the minutes of the May 11th, 2021 regular meeting. Anyone second that?
Second.
Okay. Does anyone have any changes, modifications? No, everyone's name is spelled correctly. Oh, we're all good?
Excuse me, but shouldn't that be the minutes? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Doing
sorry.
Norwalk,
Sorry.
yeah.
You're right.
You need an accountant to help you.
I was on the wrong page. I got confused.
Okay. Seeing no changes or additions or deletions, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving the minutes? Raise their hand. Aye.
Aye.
Lisa, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous. We go on to item 2, the financials. Approve the Norwalk Housing Corporation Statement of Revenue and Expenditures and balance sheets for all funds for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2021. I turn it over to you.
Okay. All right. For the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2021, Norwalk Fund 400 had $8,240 in revenue and $7,568 of expenditures, which resulted in a net operating surplus of $672. The balance sheet for this fund has assets of $419,000, liabilities of $65,000, and net assets of $354,000. And then Norwalk Revolving Loan Fund 450 has about $3,000 of an operating surplus, which was interest income from notes. And this fund has $136,000 in assets and $136,000 in liabilities and net assets. That's all for Norwalk.
Anyone have any questions? Questions? No comments? No? Hearing none, seeing none. I'll call for a vote to approve them. I'll make the motion to approve them. Anyone second it? David seconds. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Lisa, we heard you?
Yep, did you hear me? I said aye.
Okay,
Yep.
that's unanimous. Next, we go to business. There's no business. And so I'll go to new business. Is there any new business, Brian?
Nope.
Nope, no new business, no old business. Who wants to make the motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Lisa did. Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Adjournment approved. We'll move over to the Norwalk Redevelopment Agency. Calling this meeting to order. Roll call is the same participants as previously. Public participation. Hearing none, seeing none. I'll move on to administration. It's to approve the minutes of the July 13th, 2021 regular meeting. I'll move that. Someone wants to second it.
Second.
Seconded by David. Anyone want to make changes, additions, deletions, corrections? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving the minutes? Aye.
Aye.
Seems unanimous.
I abstained because I missed that meeting.
Okay, one abstention, 3 yeses. The minutes are approved. Moving on to item B, financials. Approve the Norwalk Redevelopment Agency Statement of Revenues and Expenditures and Balance Sheets for all funds for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2020. Eugenia.
Yes, okay, so for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2021, the operating fund 100 had revenues of $1,503,000 versus budgeted revenues of $1,588,000, which resulted in an unfavorable variance of $85,000. This is mainly due to $73,000 of the agency's grant for city projects, which was not used and remains in deferred revenue. Total actual expenditures of $1,503,000 versus a budget of $1,588,000 resulted in a favorable variance of $85,000. This is primarily due to lower personnel expenses of $157,000 and lower administrative expenses of $7,000, which were offset by an actual surplus of $79,000. And this surplus was transferred back to deferred revenue and is shown on a separate line of the statement of revenues and expenditures. There's a break-even net operating amount for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2021, which is equal to the break-even budget for this period. Going to the balance sheet. The balance sheet for the operating fund 100 at June 30th, 2021 has $5,351,000 in cash, accounts receivable due to other funds and property, and $1,653,000 in net loans receivable and other assets. There's $1,161,000 in deferred revenues, which will be earned when expended, and $3,508,000 in net assets. The Brookfield Properties Operating Fund 115 had revenues of $21,000 and expenditures of $21,000, which resulted in a break-even bottom line. The balance sheet for this fund has $469,000 in cash and $469,000 in liabilities and net assets. The Cdbg revolving loan fund has revenues of $22,000, which consists of interest income from notes receivable and expenditures of $22,000, which resulted in a break-even bottom line. This fund has $253,000 in cash and due from other funds and $369,000 in net loans receivable. Total liabilities are $130,000 and net assets equal $492,000. The Cdbg non-revolving loan fund had revenues of $1,836,000 and program expenditures of $1,836,000, which resulted in a break-even bottom line. The balance sheet for this fund has $614,000 in cash, receivables, and due from other funds, $149,000 in net loans receivable, and $763,000 in liabilities and net assets. The agency's Fund 500 had revenues of $488,000 and $488,000 in program expenditures, which resulted in a break-even bottom line. And this fund's balance sheet has $916,000 in cash and accounts receivable and 916,000 in liabilities and net assets. That's it. Oh, also, I'll go on. Oh, I'm sorry, you have to vote first before I go on to July.
Okay, any questions, comments, observations? None? Call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved unanimously. Move on to item 2, which is to approve the Norwalk Redevelopment Agency Statement of Revenues and Expenditures for year-to-date July 31st, 2021. Eugenia.
Okay, for the month of July 2021, the operating fund 100 had actual revenues of $110,000 versus a budget of $118,000, which resulted in an unfavorable variance of $8,000. This is mainly due to lower CDBG grant revenue, which will be recouped over the remainder of the year. Total actual expenditures of $119,000 versus a budget of $127,000 resulted in a favorable $8,000. Resulted in a favorable variance of $8,000. This is due to favorable variances in personnel costs of $5,000 and in administrative expenses of $3,000. The net actual operating deficit of $9,000 is basically equal to the budgeted operating deficit of $9,000. That's all.
Okay, questions, observations, comments? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor? Aye,
Aye.
unanimous. Then we move on to business. If I could turn the page, we'll move along. First item is the Harbor Loop Sono Wharf design. Approve the agreement with Weston and Sampson for engineering services. Brian?
Yeah. So we've been involved in a procurement with the city, working with economic development, the mayor's office, also some with council members to obtain a consultant using city capital funds to do a design work of the Harbor Loop Trail. The extension of the Norwalk River Valley Trail, particularly the sections that transcend along the East Avenue corridor. Just 2 small sections of design would occur there along some city-owned right-of-way. And then the other piece, the larger piece, I guess, of the overall procurement is the actual design of the park project along the Sono Wharf over there across from Washington Prime, trying to look at every use of the parking lot while, of course, replacing the parking and doing it as design for the park. Through that procurement, we've identified Weston and Sampson as the preferred vendor, and the contract that you have before you is to enter into an agreement at Weston and Sampson. It's not to exceed $79,500 at this time. We're going to be going through an initial design, a community outreach process, and then preliminary design. And then from there, we'll have to have a discussion about final design and advancing it through construction.
How long do you think this will take?
I would estimate about 9 months or something we're thinking.
Okay, so 9 months takes us, what, to the summer next year?
Yeah, at which point, and one of the big issues that we're going to need to transcend here is the permitting. There's been some concepts that have been done that would involve some water course work, and obviously that will involve deep. So we went with Weston and Sampson, given their experience working with deep and their sort of permitting expertise, which was going to be a big, hurdle that Public Works was concerned about, and we wanted to make sure that we could circumvent.
Okay. Is this something that's being funded by the state in any way because of the Walk Bridge?
No, it's not part of the Walk Bridge project, but what we're hoping is that we're going to advance design soon enough to apply for a recreational trails grant through deep. So we're going to be pursuing state funding for construction, but right now we're trying to get as many projects designed as we can, given some of the infrastructure bills we're expecting, and we want to make sure we have, shovel-ready plans.
Good thinking. Any other comments? Questions? David looks like he's developing one there.
This is one of my favorite, planned projects in Norwalk. I fully support doing anything to advance this along, because this, when finished, and actually you can walk the Harbor Loop Trail now. You just have to. There are a few missing pieces, and these are important missing segments for us to get designed and get going. So Patsy Brescia, just for your information, told me she started the work on this trail in like 1972. So by changing the zoning to require public access in the waterfront along the river. So I'm all in and all for this project and the other related projects.
Great. I think John, did you get frozen? I think John might be frozen.
His video, he went away too.
Chairman has left us. Give us 1 second here. Oh,
Oh, yeah. Maybe he's hopefully gonna try to rejoin here.
we'll give him a second. But yeah, one thing we're gonna do too with the trail is trying to have them take a look at the whole harbor loop and just try to identify those little gaps that we want to fill in, because you know I've ridden it many times myself, and you know you want to make it as convenient as possible.
When they're ready, Brian, I'm happy to talk to them, because I actually, at one point, Mike and I tried to move this whole thing forward just ourselves. And we talked to the property owners of a couple of the missing pieces over at, behind that office building, right at the under the freeway, that piece there. And I know a lot about that. And then the other piece, that apartment building that's next to 140 East Avenue. And I know a bunch about that. So I'm happy to talk to Weston and Sampson whenever they're ready.
Yeah, that'd be helpful, because I've assembled a bunch of disparate pieces. You know, there's been sort of people been working on it in their own way, but I think the more we could get into their, hopper, the better.
Yeah.
So we're planning to do a kickoff meeting this week, and then we'll try to, I'll let them know. And I think that'd be good if we could have that conversation.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, I don't have to, one of them can just call me and I can tell them at least a couple of the important pieces that are the missing links.
Okay, great. Yeah.
You're back, John.
Everybody froze and then I disappeared.
We're glad you're back.
So did we approve everything?
Meeting's adjourning, John. You're good.
We're good. We're done.
Yeah, I think we have to take, did we take the vote? We did?
Have we taken a vote on the harbor loop?
No, you haven't yet.
Okay. Any more questions? Whatever this discussion was, I'll call for a vote. All in favor? Aye. Yes.
Aye.
Anyone else? David?
Yes.
Lisa? Lisa? Okay. Unanimous. We'll move on to the Norwalk River Valley Trail. Right. Were you discussing that or?
No, we didn't move on. I could
Okay.
do a quick presentation on that. So if you're okay with it, I'll speak to just both items together. They're sort of related. In
That's
terms of
perfect. I'll move both of them.
great. So what you have before you tonight is two extra work scopes provided by Stantec for two pieces of the Norwalk River Valley Trail. Previously, Stantec had been operating design services on this trail under sort of a global procurement that the agency had before I arrived. And I think it's just for housekeeping measures, I wanted to separate them and do them project by project. So I just wanted to put them before you tonight. The first one is for the work that Stantec is designing for the work that actually Condot will be constructing on the Yankee Doodle Trail as part of the I-95 median replacement project of the Saugatuck Bridge over there. So they've actually authorized the work to go forward with the state resources, but Stantec needed to do some additional design to get it to that point that the DOT could construct. And the second one is actually work that we expedited for 40 Cross Street. I don't know if you're aware, but I think we spoke about it a while ago, but we were able to successfully negotiate an easement from the owners at 40 Cross Street to permit the trail behind the facility. Previously, there was a license agreement that was allowed for a 4-foot passive use trail with the previous owner, because I guess there were some negotiation issues. Working with city legal, we were able to work with the owner to give us a full 6 feet allowed for bike path and an actual easement donated to the city. So the city council's already approved it, but Stantec had to do some design work that we expedited just because we wanted to try to team it up with the NRVT construction to save some money. Unfortunately, it's still been held up in conservation, but our work on this will be authorized tonight, the design services that have already been encumbered, but we wanted to kind of clean it up for housekeeping purposes under separate contracts.
When you say held up in conservation, are you talking about the city's conservation?
Correct.
department?
Yeah, so we just advanced the plans and they're just working with conservation now. They want a hydraulic analysis, which the Stantec is currently working on, which will be part of this work.
Okay.
I have no questions. Anyone else? None? Shall I call for it? And we moved items 1 and 2, did we not?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll call for a vote on items 1 and 2. For the Norwalk River Valley Trail. All in favor of approving those 2 items? Aye.
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 Okay, votes unanimous. And now for an update on the Webster Street lot. Brian.
All right, great. So I sent an email last week. Just wanted to provide a general update in terms of a project that we're working on with the city. A lot of you are familiar, obviously, with Webster Street lot, the large 600 plus parking lot that is right on MLK, right in the heart of South Norwalk, Arsono area. So what we've been working on with the city is to identify a strategy to sort of, look into potential redevelopment of the site. Given the fact that a lot of studies have already been done, there was one in 2004, obviously, and one in 2016 that identified a number of issues and constraints. Rather than try to sort everything out on the front end, what we worked with is to develop a request for qualifications. That has since been issued. That was issued last Friday. It's been posted on a variety of nationwide development sites and emailed to our internal list and master list and try to get as wide of a reach as we can. To essentially look for a preferred developer for the site or a group of developers for the site. What we would be asking is really just for their qualifications as a start. So we're not looking, to actually just select someone and move forward. We want to identify a bench or a group of developers that could make sense to work through some of these issues with. And then obviously working with the community to figure out what is the highest and best use of this site. What does the market really want to deliver at this moment? And that's really the question that we're asking right now. So what we're hoping to get back is, a number of potential ideas, concepts, from which point we'll be able to sort of curate and select what we think is the best to actually go out for a request for proposals for the specific site. So it's really the first step in a much longer process, but we felt it was the right approach given the, encumbrances and constraints on the site.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, COVID hit a lot of those businesses in that area hard. Some of them are coming back. I don't know the future of movie theaters and so forth. Have you seen anything more revitalization since COVID ended, or?
I think, it's been slowly coming back from a few perspectives. Retail is hard, I think, everywhere. I think one of the things that we're doing, though, is with VHB as part of the South Norwalk work and sort of our COVID revitalization planning, is we are taking a deeper look at the retail analysis in that area. Because what we don't want to do is have a proposal that may cannibalize or not support the existing retail by creating new retail. So we're trying to get as much data on the back end that we can, both in terms of what you're asking, John, and then also in terms of the financial structure to replace all that parking. That's going to be the biggest hurdle, I think, for any developer that's going to come in, is to sort out how you're going to replace all that public parking in addition to parking your site. So VHB is taking a look at that, so we have more information to make better decisions once we do receive proposals. So I'll have more to report on that in a couple months here.
Okay. Any other questions? David?
Well, I would just say that I think it's important that there has to be a really good mechanism for community input in the process, especially before any decisions are made or recommendations are made, because it is a big visible site. I can't foresee any positive reaction coming from a 1,000 car plus parking garage in a bunch of apartment buildings, which I know is the only thing anybody will come back with. So I mean, I'm not, I don't mean to be cynical or skeptical, but you know, this is going to be a bunch of apartment buildings because that's the only thing any developer will think about building in Norwalk, and a parking garage. So, you know, I don't know. I think there will be a lot of pushback from the community, especially in South Norwalk, for a bunch of giant apartment buildings there. So, you know, we can try again, but I'm just, I'm not particularly optimistic that we'll come to some solution, and that, you know, maybe the best strategy ultimately for this site is just sitting and waiting on it, and waiting for the world to evolve and demand to evolve. So you know, but I think it's fine to go and look at, but I already know what they're going to come back with. I mean, you can, you know, I'll buy drinks if they come back with something else. So.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, identifying, and I think, you know, it's identifying that qualified developer to start that.
Wait a second.
With. Sorry. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I want to make sure that's recorded. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you.
No, you're good.
Hello.
You're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting notice here that its connection's unstable. That's why I keep saying hello.
You're good. Can you hear us, John? You all right?
I'm good.
All right. So yeah, I was just saying that's the whole thing. You know, I think we just want to find a qualified developer to at least have that discussion with and see what the market's interested in. And if it doesn't make sense, we're not obligated at this time. It's really that initial step. And the way it's written is obviously to give us flexibility to make sure it's the right move at the right time.
Okay. Let's see what they have to say. We may be getting free drinks from Westmoreland.
Don't count on it. Giant parking garage, a bunch of giant apartment buildings.
That will have parking for the railroad station, will it not?
Well, that's one of the things that, you know, could be an option. I think there's a lot of parking need to replace what's existing there and to support Washington Street. So we kind of got to figure out how to balance all the competing interests.
Okay. Very good. I can't wait to see what they say.
Yeah, we'll see.
Any other new business, old business?
I just want to give you a quick update. You're going to get your handy dandy hard copies of the agency's strategic plan mailed to you. So don't think we're spamming you. I want to just give you a heads up, not throw it away right away. You can take a look at it first. And next month,
I hope you're signing my copy.
Yeah, I'll sign yours, John, for sure. I'll sign it right on the cover.
All right. Look forward to that.
All right.
Anything else?
That's it.
Eugenia, everything's going well on your side?
Yes, good. Thank you.
Are you going to have checks this week to be signed?
Yes, actually, maybe tomorrow. I don't know what your
Okay.
schedule is, but
They won't be signed tomorrow, but possibly Thursday.
that's fine. Thursday, that's fine, whatever.
Okay. All right. Seeing no other business, does someone want to call for adjournment? Okay.
So moved.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Lisa, have a nice evening. Everyone have a nice evening.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
See you. Bye, John.
Take
Bye,
care.
everybody.